From Central Indiana's #1 news source, this is Fox 59 Tonight.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us here on Fox 59 Tonight. I'm Cameron Riddle. Thanks for downloading our new smart TV app here at Fox. You can find Fox 59 now in the Apple, Roku, Fire TV, and now Samsung Smart TV stores. And also, if you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you just click that subscribe button so you never miss the conversations we have every night at 8 o'clock here on Fox 59 Tonight. Sometimes I want to introduce you to somebody who I just think is interesting, someone who you should know, somebody with a story, somebody who maybe you know, maybe you don't. But by the end of today, you will know about Jay Bland Made Man, or Jay Bland, or Justin Bland. Depending on how far back you go, you might know him from one of these different names. But before we introduce him, let's introduce the woman co-hosting the show tonight, Deja Studdard, as she is back to take us on a deep dive as we introduce you to somebody cool. Hi, Deja.
Hi, Kim. Thank you. I'm so excited for today because we have the director, the actor, the comedian of the Made Man Improv show, Justin Bland, in the building. How are you doing, Justin?
I am wonderful. I appreciate y'all having me. Thank you.
What's going on? Tell me about Made Man Improv. What is it?
Made Man Improv has become a staple here in the city. It's a improv comedy show. Two teams going head to head in improv games, and it's really driven by the culture because it's music driven, it's people driven. A lot of the suggestions that are thrown out are things that are current within our community. So it's just one of those things that you have to experience for yourself. I can't sit up here and just tell you what it is.
Right.
You got to come and experience it. Soon.
Just off that brief description, that sounds like Wild and Out Indianapolis.
A lot of people say that. Yeah. A lot of people say that.
Therefore, you'd be Nick Cannon.
Oh.
I would rather be Jay Bland, but
How many kids you got?
0. I do like the comparison, but yeah,
he's successful,
absolutely.
As are you.
Absolutely.
So as I was saying, people know Justin Bland, or they've heard Made Man,
right?
Or Jay Bland,
right?
But those are all kind of like the different iterations or seasons of who you are.
For sure.
I've known you. Hate to throw numbers out there, Chief.
way back.
Good old Vincent's
college
University.
days, for sure.
I went to Vincent's for a year.
You went to Vincent?
For a year.
Well, that's news to me.
Mm-hmm.
Here I was thinking you was a full-fledged Ball State.
No, I did 4 years at Ball State. So I went to school for 5 years.
Yeah.
But I went to Vincent's first, and it was Vincent.
It's Vincent. This city
And
where if
everybody-
you don't do it, it won't happen.
Yes.
Seriously.
But when I was there, so
Yeah.
I was doing the news and anchoring and stuff at the PBS station and on the radio. But then this guy was already hosting shows and whatnot back in the Vincent's days. So that, just so you know, was more than 10 years ago.
For sure.
Yeah. I don't know if you want me to keep going, but it's
more than 10.
Well over.
It's getting closer to
Absolutely.
It's getting closer to 20.
See the grades.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've aged
Yeah.
gracefully, though.
Gracefully.
But since then, I mean, that's when you started. That's when I first knew of you hosting different events and hosting shows on the VU campus.
Absolutely.
Now it's turned into, again, something like Wild and Out Indianapolis. I've seen you at the Black Expo.
Uh-huh.
You were hosting. You were doing a thing. Take us through. Let's go back to the VU days, because this will give Deja even she don't know all this.
Bring her up to speed. For sure.
Bring her up to speed. Take us back.
Well, I started at Vincent's. I didn't even know personally. I didn't know that there was a lane for hosting. Like, I didn't know what it was. And when I was the first thing I was asked to host was the Vincent's fashion show.
Okay.
And I was just like, fashion show? In my head, I'm thinking it's going to be like, oh, and Cameron Riddle is wearing the blazer jacket with the blue. I thought that they wanted me to do that. And I was just like, I'm not for that. Like, and then Charles Surrett, who was the one who asked me to host, he basically was like, no, you got to watch a video. You got to watch this DVD of the past shows. And I was able to see that, oh, this is a cultural thing. Like, this is not just a fashion show. This is comedy in between the scenes of the show. And even with the models, it wasn't just them walking. They were creating scenes. They were bringing stories to life. And I was just like, oh, this is something totally different. I didn't expect it. And I didn't have no background in it. I was just clowning on campus. And they was just like, oh, this guy, Justin, you got to see him. So Alexis Johnson, shout out to her. I give her all the credit because when it came time for me to host, there was like a little discrepancy of me not being able to host, but she went to battle for me. She was like, no, you said I can pick my host, and I want Justin. And yeah, I went out there, and I remember vividly saying, like, man, if this first joke don't land, I'm packing up and going home. That's literally where my mindset was. I was like, if this first joke don't land, I don't even want to be at the school no more. And when I went out there and I did the bit and the crowd just ate it up, I just knew at that moment, I was just like, man, I feel like I'm at home. Like, I feel like I'm here. Like, I feel like that was my moment of like, okay, I can do this. What I didn't know is that I had it's like 15 scenes in the fashion show, and in between each scene they want me to get up and entertain the crowd so I just made in my head, I was like, okay, I got something at the beginning and the end and something in between each scene. But then by the time I got there and did the first thing and I looked like, okay, I'm done, and he was like, oh no, the models are not ready, you got to keep going. So I was like, oh, so I just went to the next thing in my head that was on my list, and by the time we got to like the next scene, I was like through 7 or 8 things that I had already had planned on my list. And I was just like, oh, what do we do now? And hence, excuse me, improv kicked in like crazy. So a lot of the things that we do at the show came straight from me not having material and having to think on my feet. So a lot of times we got a lot of crowd participation games straight from Vincennes, to where it was just like I ran out of material and I got to start freestyling stuff. Oh, we got let me see your outfit. Oh, you want to do a model walk? Okay, now we got people come there doing model walks. Now we got people come there playing musical chairs. Now we got people coming up there just playing different games throughout.
When you're up on that stage and everybody's looking at you and you run out of things to say, it's terrifying, isn't it?
Absolutely. Now, do I make it look terrifying? No. But is it terrifying? Absolutely. Because it's just like in your head, you know that you're at the end of the rope. And it's just like
everybody looking at you.
Everybody looking like, okay, what's next? But then you realize that you have that moment. You realize that they don't know.
Correct.
I know, but they don't know.
Correct.
So as long as I just keep it cool, calm, and collective, we should be good. So we have had some moments where it was just like, oh, what do we do? What do we do? DJ, play something, play something.
You really got to take, what I like about it is in that moment, you just take charge.
Absolutely.
And you just politely, but you start telling people, hey, DJ, drop that. Or here's what we're going to do.
Absolutely. So a lot of the games came from that snap clap, one of the crowd's favorite games right now. It just came from
that one.
Yeah, it just came from a moment of us just playing around on the cabin trip, and the music was just playing and we just start going, and just to see that game turn into something that the crowd love is just crazy. So
what did you go to Vincennes to study?
Music audio recording.
Okay.
And while I was there, it's so crazy. While I was there, I actually wanted to go for theater.
Okay.
But I didn't take it serious whatsoever. So when I went to go take my assessment test, I fell asleep. This is a true story. I fell asleep, and when I woke up, they were just like, you guys got 5 minutes. And I was just like, oh, wow. So I just went through. Don't do this at home, kids. When I went through, I just went and put anything. And then they hit me back basically saying, like, you scored too low to be in the theater program. You're going to be doing a lot of different writing and reading. And I was just like, I didn't even try. Wait a minute. So they was like, okay. When I went to the music program, and basically they were just like, okay, what you want to do is you can do a year in this, and then you can come back and then do the theater program again. And then once I started doing the music program, I fell in love with it. Not because of the music aspect, because we had to take some broadcasting classes and some video production classes. And that's what I fell in love with, which was film. So, and that is where my film journey started at as well. So, yeah.
Vincennes is a special place, but, it helped me start. So I'm here.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're where you are.
Absolutely.
But it's Vincennes is a special place. One, because it's like, out of all the colleges, one, It's the one that's not on an interstate.
Right.
So, like, you can shoot down to Bloomington or you can shoot up to Ball State. Like, you got to put in effort to go to Vincennes.
That's true.
So on the weekend, like, everybody would leave.
Yep.
There'd be like 5 o'clock Friday, ghost town.
Ghost town.
So there would be, when there would be things to do, your shows,
Yeah.
fashion show, stuff like that would be a reason to stay around. Or if you do stay around, it's like, thank God there's something to go do.
Absolutely.
Huh.
Yeah.
I told you
Wow,
the city
I
where if you
didn't
don't do
know.
it, it won't happen.
It's so much about Vincennes.
Yeah.
You know, it seems like you all have had some good times and
Well-
maybe a few horror stories.
Well, I mean, everybody has their college stories.
For
You
sure.
know?
But I think everybody at Vincennes has their Vincennes stories and what's different about it. I mean, Vincennes is way different from Ball State.
Right.
But, you know, it's
Yeah.
like anything else, is what you make it.
Facts.
So sure. So tell me how you made it into an improv show. So I see how we got started. We're at the fashion show. You did a hosting gig. It went really well. How does that turn into you have a show?
After that first fashion show, every Black organization on campus called me to host their show. So it overnight, like literally that one show became this organization reaching out, the next organization. So now any event that is on campus that's a Black organization that is hosting it, they saying, "Oh, Justin has to host."
Wasn't
that.
leaving work for nobody.
Yeah, it's just that. And the thing is, back the first couple of shows, I was literally doing them for free because in my head, it's just like get on stage and get to perform, and that's payment.
Yeah.
Like that's payment.
But that's how they get you.
And I don't even think it was a thing like, oh, they were trying to get free labor. It's just the setup of the format of things back then. But I will never forget Miss Regina at Vincent. She hit me up and was like, we want you to host this event. And I did it. And we had fun. I went to my room and I was excited. Called my mom, told her. And then the next day, Miss Regina was like, your check is ready. I was like, a check? What check? There's a check? So in college, you know how far $10, $20 can go.
Yeah.
You know, especially back then. But when she hit me up, she was like, I got a $250 check. And I was just like, what? For hosting, for doing something I would have done for free. And that right there just changed my whole outlook on the fact that this could be something like I can use my gifts to make money. I can use my gifts to live off of. So as I was preparing for graduation, Charles Surratt, BAM, he was super instrumental in just like my journey at Vincennes. I have 1,001 stories about him just coming to my rescue or him just, you know, pouring into me. And I needed that father away from home. So, and he was that. So he was like, man, I want you to leave with something. Like, I want you to leave. You should do a play. And I was just like, he was like, what you doing that for? And I was just like, man, when you do a play, you got to have all these rehearsals. You got to wait for so many different people to come audition. You got to deal with so many different personalities. He's like, well, I want you to leave with something. So what do you want to do? I was like, what if I just did a variety show? And he's like, what does that look like? And I was just like, I explained it to him. And he was just like, you could tell at that moment, he didn't really see the vision, but he trusted me enough to say, whatever you need from me, we're going to make it happen. So literally, the Jay Bland Made Man show was like my exiting gift from BAM Charles Surratt at Vincennes. And it literally started out with, I just had 5 cast members, me, and what we did that's different from the show that you know today is that we would go out and film short comedy sketches, and basically it would play out like the Chappelle show. I would do like a comical lead in, and then we'd go straight into that video that that we were talking about. They would laugh, I would come back in, rebuttal, and then we would do some improv games with the 5 cast members that we had, and it was the Jay Bland Made Man show. And I just remember that first show was just so dope to me because it was that moment. People you have this moment in your career where you just know. And I think for me, that was the moment, watching this video play out, watching, where I put the punchlines in with them actually laughing at those moments. And the rest is legit history. Like Charles Surratt gifted me that, and I'm forever grateful for it.
So we talked about Vincennes.
Absolutely.
But I want to go, if we can, a little bit further back than that. Tell me a little bit about Baby Justin and Baby Bland, and how we got to comedy in the first place, and to this being in theater in some capacity,
Yeah.
and improv in some way being your thing. You said you were kind of like the funny guy on
Yeah.
campus.
Yeah.
So where does that come from?
Literally, my dad, if you know my dad, he's just been a comedian all his life.
Mm-hmm.
And growing up under him, I was just watching him and I just got that funny from him. And when I say it started out early, is like as far as my memory can take me, I've just
Mm-hmm.
been the entertainment for the family. Like I've just been that when I was the one to say, Justin, come do that little dance. And I would do that. Or they say, oh, Justin, and it's crazy because when I was younger, I just knew like the jokes that I would tell was just like people would look at me like, how old is he? Like, how does he know to put two and two together like that? So a lot of the times we had this thing. It's so funny, but we had this. Me and my brother every Sunday we would do this thing called Enos and Parker, and it was like an improv show. Like we didn't have no script. We didn't know what we was gonna talk about. But all of my siblings, I have 5 siblings, so. All my same parents and
Mm-hmm.
everything came raised under the same roof. So we would literally go on Sundays after dinner. We would go to our room, and me and my brother Bobby would literally just freestyle this improv show for my other siblings. And literally, and I got footage of all. It's so funny because I found footage of this probably like 4 or 5 years ago. But yeah, we would do it almost every Sunday, and we would just go back there and freestyle and just entertain our other siblings. And that for me, just looking back now, you have some siblings on the top bunk, you have some
Mm-hmm.
siblings on the bottom bunk, you have some on the floor, and in my head, it just looked like a theater, like in my mind. Like
Yeah.
it was just like the imagery of having people on the balcony, on a regular floor,
Yeah.
and things like that. So um, I remember like being in kindergarten going to first grade, and it's crazy that my mom was even thinking like this, but I would always think like, man, everybody loved me for being funny. I wonder if somebody's gonna be funnier than me in first grade. And then I get to first grade and then have a good year and be like, I wonder if somebody's gonna be funnier than me in second grade. And I felt like that all the way up until high school.
Mm-hmm.
And then in high school, when I got to high school, and this is what made me say, "Oh, I got it in the bag. Like I don't have to
Yeah.
worry about that. I don't have to think like that no more." Is that most of my teachers before I got there was just like, "We heard of you."
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
We know about you. So I was just like, oh, what does that mean? So a lot of the trouble that I got into, it was easy to get out of because like the teachers were laughing at my jokes. Like
Oh, what a gift.
you have some people who would the kids will laugh and the teacher would just be like, you're just a disruption. Get
Yeah.
out or go to the office. But me, I can see my teacher kind of like fighting, like to like, okay, I have to discipline him. But
you
that
got
was
funny.
funny. That was funny. So like in high school, it was just like, oh, I got to sew it up. But I just didn't know what direction. I was just like, I don't know how to turn it. What do you want to be when you got, I don't know. I just want an actor maybe. And it's almost like when they was asking me these questions, I didn't know. I knew that the bubble that everybody else is checking, I was just like, that doesn't fit me though. Like, I don't want to just be an actor.
I feel that.
I don't want to just be in theater. But they was like, oh, what does that look like? And I was just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And that's why it's good to really lock in on, your gifts and your talents because it's like what you're trying to do might not be created. And it might just take you just branching out and stepping out saying, I appreciate y'all for trying to invest in me in the theater aspect, and I'm going to take some of those tools that I learned from that, but I have a different plan. I got a different vision. And that's from childhood to present. Yeah. So
Incredible. So we cover Baby Bland.
Baby Bland.
We cover college. How do we get from having something in college, because you can have something in college and then it just ends in college.
For sure.
So how do we get from having this variety show in college to Indianapolis?
Yeah.
And things like this.
That is funny. Well, when we started out in college, it was an idea that I just felt like I can't say, oh, I know it will work, but it was just like even before he gave me that opportunity in college, I had kind of carried over what I learned at Arlington because I was in the theater program there, and I was just like so excited that I was like, I want to start something here. So
Arlington High School.
Yep, Arlington High School. So I started something called LOLNT, put out a call, and I probably got like 8 people to show up, and we just did like random skits and stuff like that. We would shoot them on a little camera and things like that, and just kind of put them on YouTube or put them on Facebook, and just let all of our peers just kind of go from there. But it really kind of home. It really kind of locked me in for that moment that was waiting for me at the end of my career at Vincennes. And then from there, when I got back home, it was just like, man, you go from hosting every single show on campus, you go from having, your own show on campus, and then you come back home to reality, and it's just like, I'm back, and they're like, who are you? Just like, yeah, get a job. So it was just like, oh, this is life. So you don't realize that when you're at college, you don't realize that, man, you really don't realize how good you have it, because you got all your support system there. Like, everybody's that's going to come to your show is just there on campus. The finances, the resources, they taken care of it as far as different organizations.
And that's the other part about Vincennes. And I don't say the following to take anything away from you.
Yeah.
You were already trapped at Vincennes.
For sure. You're on an island.
Like, you're on an island.
I'm scared of Vincennes.
But so there was nothing to do.
Yeah. Literally.
There's nothing to do.
My teacher even said, I told her I got accepted to Vincennes. She was like, you want to look at some more colleges? And I was just like, no, I've never been accepted anywhere. And she was just like, I just want you to just look at other colleges. And she was saying it from a place of, it's easy to go down there, get distracted, and get in trouble. And I understood it. Now I understand it now.
Yes.
And even after the fact, or even when I was going to Vincennes.
You could see.
Yeah, but prior to, it was just like, it's just so easy. And I don't want to paint the picture like, oh, it's miserable. But
because I'll stretch it out. We're talking about the area, the city. The
Yeah.
school itself is a school legit. Hello, we're here.
Yeah.
But the city, like, you go to Ball State, there's stuff to do outside. You go over to the Village, or at Bloomington, you walk off campus, there's something to do.
For sure.
You walk off of campus, you can cross some railroad tracks. It's the river on this side. You're going to be in Illinois. Like, there's no river walk or something like you're going to do. There's nothing.
Walk. Oh, wow. I feel like this is like a plea to the city.
My highlight was Papa John's on Fridays.
Right. You guys want to go to Walmart? No, not today. That was just like, that was the entertainment. Seriously.
So because you had your in-house entertainment with this guy, I was like, of course, we're going to go see his show.
Absolutely. There's no doubt about it. If this organization has something going on this day, we're going. If Justin's hosting, we're going. And it was just like, oh, bet. So I thought that was going to be the same energy when I came back. And it was just like, no, nobody knows you here in the city. So I literally had to take time to kind of, at that point, it was like a 5-year stint of me just helping people out. I was just like, I just want to be a helping hand to whoever.
Awesome.
So I would go be, a PA on this film project. I would go, be assistant director on this project. I would go and just kind of basically just helping people where I could. So when I got to the point where I was just like, man, I want to do something myself.
And was that because you didn't know after campus? Now you don't know what to do?
Yeah, because like I said, my mentor, the one who's pouring into me, he's still at Vincennes.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to help, but he got other Justins arising that he wants to invest in now. But and it was just like, he still was coaching me through different things, encouraging me. But I got to a point where he basically was just like, you got to get back on that stage.
Mm-hmm.
So opportunity came for me to be the co-host of That Piece Open Mic with Mariah Ivy, and that was a super dope and beautiful experience. And there is where I was inspired to bring my improv show to the city. We have featured a group called Active Food Improv. Hilarious. They're a much smaller group than what we are, and their shows are smaller, but the quality and the content and the actors that they have, it was just so dope. And I was mesmerized, like watching, Gritty and the Craftsman and Daniel and Enos and all of them do their thing. And I was just like, this is dope. I have to bring my show back. I have to bring it back here to the city. So I basically, I got to a place where I was just like, I put out a post in like 2017, November 2017, and basically, just inviting people. If you want to be around like-minded people, if you want to get into improv, and you don't have to be a comedian, but if you want to, get out of your shell. And from there, we had several different people come out to these open sessions. And then I was like, okay, if I want to take this serious, I have to hone in on a group. So out of I'll probably say 35 to 40 people who came to the open sessions throughout the course of like 6 weeks, I narrowed it down to like 16 people. And I picked some people who were already good. I picked some people who could be better. And I picked some people were questioning, like, why are they here? Because I was just like, if this is going to work, I don't want all great people. I want the the good people to get great, and I want them to become leaders, and I want the people who's mid to see that, oh, there's room to grow and I can, get to the top. And then I want the people at the bottom to really understand that if this is something that I want and I'm willing to work for, then I can be one of them too. I can eventually climb that ladder of success as well. And it was a beautiful experience. That first year of Made Man Improv is one that I never forget, just for the simple fact that they didn't know what it was, and we invited people out to our first show. The crowd didn't know what it was. What I realized that in our community, a lot of Black people didn't know what improv was, but they was like, for $5 tickets, I'll go try. I'll go see what if it's $5.
Maybe people still don't know what improv is. What is it?
Improv is, as it pertains to acting, improv is no script, unscripted. It's you thinking off the top of your head. A crowd would somebody in the crowd would throw out a suggestion or idea, and you take that idea and you bring it to life. And that itself is improv. Improv is not saying no. Improv is saying yes and yes and yes and. Improv is a beautiful art form. Improv is, especially in the comedy world, improv is hilarious because you can think one way, and then the other person who's on stage, you can say, "Oh no, I seen that a totally different way," and now I just got to play catch up with you. So improv is, like I said, it's a beautiful thing, and over the course of these, 12 years and 7 seasons, it has become something that has been more than just comedy. Just the testimonies that we get back from people, people telling me that this is healing for me, this is my therapy. I had literally just the last show, one of my friends, his mom was, fighting for her life, and she recently passed, and he was still coming to the shows, and I was just like, bro, like, what are you? He was just like, man, I need it. Like, I need this. I need it. And that has just been the sentiments from a lot of people throughout these years. And the reason why I started it is like, I want to entertain, I want to make people laugh. And then it started to feel like, after a while, I start to feel like a pastor. It was just like people come to me with their problems and, leave it up on the stage, and then they leave out, and then, hit me up later with a praise report or something. And it was just like, dang, this is really bigger than what I even anticipated or what I was even hoping it would be. So all in all, man, the journey itself, the good, the bad, the ups and downs, I embrace it all, and it's been a beautiful ride.
Tell me more about the good. Tell me more about the bad, because I think that when you're a community person, that it's hard.
Yeah.
Because you got a lot of people that you have to
For sure.
deal with. Quite frankly, you have a lot of personalities
For sure.
that you have to deal with.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they're big when it comes to, something like improv and theater and so forth like that. So tell me a little bit about the challenges that you faced in comedy.
The challenges that I faced in comedy is when it's I would say this, and I'm speaking on me specifically, when something is your primary source of income, which the Made Man show has been my primary source of income. A lot of times when you want to take a break, when you want to fall back, when you want to say, hey, let's just give it a breather, it's almost like you can't, because the bills still got to get paid. So now as a creator, you start to create from a place of lack instead of a place of creativity. And I had to figure that out, and was just like, a lot of the shows, and a lot of people, and once again, a lot of people just couldn't tell. But at the same time, it's just like, I don't want to put out a product just because I needed the income. I want to put out the product because it's ready, it's complete, and I know y'all going to enjoy it. Like that was the main thing. The other thing from that, like as far as challenges, that I'm a people person. I'm a people pleaser, and I had to find a healthy balance between my life and yours. And a lot of times I can go on I go a long period of time without being poured into, because I'm pouring everywhere else. And I'm talking about at the most grief, depression, and all these things. They're not convenient whatsoever. They don't care that you got a show coming up. They don't care that you about to step on stage. I've had an incident where a young lady called me. It was the day of the show. I get up, do my routine. I'm excited, getting prepared. And a young lady called me, basically telling me that, when I'm gone, I want you, make sure my kids is this and da 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 da. And I was just like, whoa, what are we doing? And she was just like, I just feel like I just want to hug my kids one more time, and after this, I'm done. And I have a show in 3 hours, so it's just like something like that. You have to really figure out like, what am I doing this for? If I'm doing this just for entertainment purposes, I could have easily passed that person off to somebody else.
Right.
But since I want to leave a positive impact and I want to change people's lives for the better, that was a prime moment where it was just like, I have to, the show's gonna have to, if I'm late to the show or whatever, it's gonna have to wait, but I want to cater to this and be mindful of this moment right now. So, and that was just one incident. That was just one case. And it's a lot of, like I said, a lot of times people bring those problems and troubles to me because they feel like I'm a safe space. They feel like, outside of what you do on the stage, you're somebody that I can confide in. And it's just like, I don't ever want to abuse that. And I want you to know that you're that important to where I can say, wait, or let's figure out something else. I'm not going to be there at this time, or I'm going to be a little late. Hey, Gerald, can you hold this down while I get there and let me handle this? So those are some of the challenges that you face when you are in leadership. When people look at you as some type of guidance, it doesn't have, like I said, it's not going to be the most convenient thing, but then you have to make a choice to say, I want to make an impact. So let me kind of pause and let me focus on that.
Yeah. What do you do? Because that, to me, that's heavy.
Yeah.
So what do you do to take care of you?
Yeah. I didn't even learn that. Like, I didn't learn what taking care of me was until I was taking on so much. People would come to my office and they would leave so much in there. It's almost like when you watch a show and it's getting intense, and then you watch that episode and then you go to bed and you wake up and you say, why do I feel like that? And it's like, oh, I don't have a real problem. That was just the show that I was watching. Or somebody called you and put something on you heavy, and then you get off the phone and you're still wearing it. So a lot of times I was just going through life wearing it. And I got to a point where I was just like, it was like 2021. Was it 2021? I was just like, oh, we're going to take a break from the show. I just need a break from it.
I remember that.
Yeah. And I was just like, I need this break. And what I realized is that I didn't need a break from the show, because it was like 3 months in or 2.5 months in. I was just like, I want to get back on stage. And it was like, no, Justin, you don't need a break from the show. You love the show. You don't need a break from it. You need boundaries with people.
Yeah, there was no in between Justin on stage and Justin's real life.
Right.
Or I should say, there was no in between Jay Bland and Justin.
Exactly. And it got to the point where I didn't know. And somebody asked me recently, like, who is Justin? Who is? And I was like, I like movies. I like to cook. And I was just like, dang. So I think now, really, like in real time, is me figuring out, who's Justin and what does he like, and who am I outside of the stage. I know who Jay Bland is. When I get on that stage, it just cuts on, and it's no effort. It just literally just turns on. But then it's the turning it off part. So it's just like when I get home, it's just like I want to turn it off, and it's just like now I'm get home fresh off the stage, and we still on a high, and I'm like, I need to rest, and then I close my eyes, and 2 seconds later, it's like, that'd be good for the next show. And then I'm right back in that mode. So it was just like, so now I try to set out time for myself. A few years ago, I started back reading, and that was something that was big for me. It was just like, I want to get back to the small things. And, when I was younger and the teachers would read, in my head, I would see movies, and that's what kind of like sparked my imagination as a child. So I was just like, and even then I went back and read some of those same books that I read as a child to reignite my imagination again. So now I just go by the lake sometime. I read my book. I go for a walk. I enjoy cooking. I love the movies. The movies is my yoga mat. I go, and when I say I love the movies, I don't want, if somebody say, oh, this came out, let's watch it at home. No, I want to go to the movies. I want the whole experience. I want to recline my seat. And I got to the point where I stopped bringing in my own snacks. Like, I want the popcorn. I want the slushy. Like, I want the whole, that's my thing.
Bringing in my own snacks.
I like going to the little, I forget what they're called, but where they give you the whole food and the burgers and all that. Yeah. Like, make it a whole event.
So that's what.
Y'all just got money. I need an improv comedy.
Well, actually, I was going to say, you are aware that she's a comedian, right?
Absolutely.
And have you been on stage yet?
Yes.
With him?
No.
That's what we tried. We I think what was it? It was, what was that, last year?
An all-woman show.
Yeah, we was going to do an all-woman show, and then things didn't. It was like on my end, things didn't go well, so we had to take another pause, and then we came back. We just jumped straight into the regular show, but yeah.
I was gonna say just blame COVID. It was COVID. Couldn't do it because of COVID.
Just blame COVID. Yeah, COVID happened.
I was gonna say throw something at her. I want to see some improv. I want to see something in action.
I told Justin, I was like, I'm not an improv girly. I said I'll do it for you.
Yeah.
You know, but I was like, I'm more of a political comedian. You know, like think like Chris Rock.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's more intellectual. Everybody won't get
it. When you do, like, I probably would be good at improv because I can do, like, she always points out, I just get in here and I talk.
Yeah.
I can go on TV and just talk, radio and just talk. But I always think of, like, whose line is it anyway?
For sure.
Because it's a lot of impressions and sounds and noises and stuff. And I don't do too many impressions. I got like 2. But that's
okay. What? Well, okay, you do impressions at all? I mean, you can't just say that.
You don't know who you work with.
You have to back this up. Who are the people that you are impersonating, if you will?
Okay, well, just from being on stage.
Okay.
You know, when something don't go wrong, I remember there was one time I was doing something and something didn't roll right. I MC a lot of things.
Yeah.
Something didn't roll right. And I was up there at the podium and I was just like, you know, I kind of feel like the president now, you know? And so I said, how you doing, everybody? You know, got Michelle here. Michelle's in the back. Look, listen. I know everybody has a lot they want to say.
This is good.
A lot they want to get off their chest. But, you know. But anyway.
I think he's auditioning. Do you have any extra snacks?
But that's all I got.
That was good.
That's all I got, you know.
That was a lot to have.
That was good.
The Trump needs some work.
We'll say that. We'll say that way.
You know, like two in your hands.
I could do.
You know,
I would do some Bernie Mac sometime.
Bernie Mac.
You know, I could talk. I can't like. I'm not like. I can't be like funny like him, but I would try to imitate his voice.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So. Well, I can't. I can't do that one without cussing.
Well, can you please? All right.
After when we go to commercial break, I'll give you an I ain't scared. All right.
I ain't scared of you. Okay, so I think that was an audition. I'm gonna take that as that.
You got it. You got it.
Yeah.
You got it.
So let's say somebody wants to get on the show. How do they get on the show? How do they become a part of the cast?
We have this thing called open sessions. A lot of times people will see the show and they come to the show and they will say, "Ooh, I want to be on the stage." And they talk to us in the lobby. We go talk and politic with everybody in the lobby, and you know, they would let us, "Oh, I want to be on stage. How can I be on stage?" And then I would let them know how. And then they just won't show up. So that's why we don't push it as heavy as we used to. So basically, it's an easy process. I don't believe in the auditioning process. I don't believe in having me right here at this table and Marcus Elliott and Gerald Anderson, who are 2 of my top people, and us, and you trying to stand before us to try to show us your talents and your gifts. I don't believe in that because the show is not set up like that.
Right.
The show is set up to where you're going to be on stage with multiple people. So what we do is it's almost just like a rehearsal for us, but we're just throwing you in the mix of these games. I'm teaching you the foundation of improv very quickly, and then you jump into these games with these same people who are going to be on stage with you. And then what I'm looking for, I'm not even looking like, oh, are they going to be the funniest person? They're going to be the best person. I'm looking to see, was you willing and was you ready? When your time came, was you ready? And then when you didn't get it right, was you willing to learn? Are you teachable? So a lot of the times that's all I'm looking for. Talent is great, is dope, but we have a lot of talented people on that stage, and a lot of times people come and they try to mimic what they just seen somebody do. So if I have Deja on stage, I don't need somebody else trying to be Deja. I got Deja right here. I need you to be you. I need you to go up there and give us your style of funny. Even if you think our audience isn't receptive of your type of funny, somebody in the crowd will appreciate it. Yeah. And I just need a blend. What makes it work is that everybody brings their own style and it's blended, and that's what makes the show the show. So
yeah. Do you have any like pre-show ritual? or anything that you do. Bernie Mac, he used to get his nails done,
Mhm.
you know, pedicures and stuff like that. Do you have anything where you go, you know what, I'm gonna give me a facial, I'm gonna give me a massage?
I don't do that. Like the day of the show, I don't eat. So like I
That's
just
understandable
yeah, it's
because
like I don't eat at the day of the show just for some fact. It's just like, man, 35. I don't know what that's gonna do to my body. So
True,
Yeah.
but I've also had. I think I used to think that way, and then I started getting older. Like, oh wait, I don't have all that energy to do this without having something to eat.
right,
Get something light so you don't fall asleep. But I
yeah.
need a
So
little something.
a lot of water. But when we have our shows, I'm separated from the cast as well,
Mhm.
because when it comes to the show, the day of the show, like I need my space, I need my bubble. A lot of times people come and they come backstage and they'll see the cat, one team over here, another team over here, and then me in my own room, and they be like, "Oh, you Hollywood, you Hollywood." I'm like, y'all don't understand. I need this alone time. I need to be away from them. I need to think, and it's only because all the way up until that point of about to go out there to host, I've done so many other jobs. I played the ticket master. I played the setup crew. I played, all these different things and all these different personalities. And when you do that, a lot of people don't understand is that when you're dealing with people, when you're dealing with people, everybody has their excuse for something, and they want you, the head of the show, to fix it.
Mhm.
And I make
That's a
myself
lot.
available all week. And hey, God, waving my hands. Hey, y'all, if y'all need anything,
Mhm.
hit me up now. And it'll be the day before the show. Hey, today's my last day. If y'all need anything, and I mean anything, you want to do a ticket swap, you want to do this, you want to whatever, let me know now. And you have some people who respect it. And then the day of the show, hey, I need this. Hey, can you do this? Hey, and it's just like,
No.
right, and a lot of times is a lot of people don't understand that, no, and it's just like you don't realize that by you calling me 5 minutes before I'm about to get on stage, because I'm not going to answer the phone, but you don't realize that how that throws me out. You don't realize how unfair that is for the people who've done everything the way that they were supposed to do. You don't realize that you're trying to take away time from me being with my cast. You might call and I'm in the middle of the prayer circle with my cast, and I just stuff like that I don't appreciate. So
Block them.
and you try and you try to
Do not disturb.
and that's what I do a lot of the times, but you try not to come down too hard on them, but you do want them to understand that the process of having something like this for so long, it can get tiring. So please just do your part. I'm not saying what you're saying is not valid. I'm saying there's an appropriate time to
It's
do it.
boundaries.
It's
too.
boundaries.
Yeah.
If you have ticket questions and you knew that I got to go to this wedding, and you knew the wedding was the wedding a year ago, and you knew these problems would occur.
refund.
Yeah, so it's just like I can't always stop to accommodate, and that's what we're talking about as far as boundaries. That's what we're talking about,
Yeah.
setting up those perimeters to say, hey, I can do something within this time. Other than that, you're just going to be mad at me because I can't do it right now. I'm locked in now. I'm not that person no more. I'm the host now. Now I got to get ready to go on stage.
And you're also the businessman. You've become a businessman
For sure.
too,
Absolutely.
because now you're learning. Okay, I got to book this venue and all
Yep.
these different things, and okay, I got to have this many tickets to
Yep.
pay for the joint and,
Yep.
and the whole shebang.
Yep.
So that would be a lot.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't look at that either. A lot of people just, it's my birthday. Can I have free tickets for me and my family? And it's just like,
I'm trying to.
I got to pay my phone bill. Like,
Yeah.
what do we doing?
Yeah.
I got to pay. Like, people
This
don't.
is
People
my
do that
job.
with
Yeah, people
artists a
really
lot.
don't understand. They think that, oh, you had this many sold out shows, the bank account is full, and it's like, no, that is not the case. That is far from the case.
Mhm.
So it's just like people. I want people, and not just for me, but for other curators and creators, especially here in the city. I want people to, when they're having these events, once again, not me, when they're having these events, buy tickets on time to ensure that they can keep that event going. I've seen a lot of people cancel their events because of ticket sales. And then everybody was like, well, I was going to buy my ticket this weekend. It's just like, but for the creator, they have to pay all. They got to make sure the venue is paid, and the venue's looking like, what are we doing? We on a time limit. So a lot of times people do have to pull the plug on certain things that, would be dope to have here in the city, but people don't buy tickets when they're supposed to. A lot of times people would call and ask for that favor, not realizing that, that oh, I got it's me and 4 people. If tickets is $20, and
That's
that $80
Yeah.
could have helped somebody. That could have helped a bill of that curator. So it's just like once people start looking at it from that angle, and they say, if I really want this, then I'm going to support it. If I really, And another thing is that every time when you see that person, you don't always have to talk about the show. You don't always have to say, "Hey, what's up? I'm gonna get a ticket. Hey, what's next show? I'm coming." It's just like we could just talk like regular people. We can just have a regular conversation.
How have people? What's the reception been from people? Because I've heard from a lot of people who are doing something like you are, hosting something, some event, and maybe this isn't. They say it's an Indianapolis thing, to where, especially if you get big, like people they don't rock with you truly until like you got to be like Mike Epps to go away and then come back. And everybody's like, Mike Epps. But are people? I hear from a lot of people, just like you said, I was going to have this event, then we canceled it because people didn't want to show up, and people didn't want to support. But if somebody comes from out of town, boom, they're going to run to their show. Sure. Is that a thing?
It is. I can say that I have been in a position where that has not been my story. It is a true story. For sure. I see it all the time. I have these phone conversations with these different producers and curators where they like, what can I do? What can I do? And I'm just like, at this point, your show is next week. You might want to, if you want some sound advice, you might want to pull the plug, go back to the drawing board and restart. And that really just stems from how you promote stuff as well. Like I tell people all the time, if you're having a show, you don't have to, if you're having a hair show, you don't have to promote it just like a hair show. You don't have to just put out a flyer. You don't have to just do this. A lot of times I promote with comical sketches. I promote like a movie trailer. I'll promote with something that is going to entice the audience. I always tell people when you're promoting, it should be 90% entertainment, 10% information, because nobody's looking for promotion to read a whole bunch of stuff. Right. They want to be entertained so they can say, "What was that?" Even if that has nothing to do with what was that? And then you see that information to say, "This is this on this date. Tickets are here." That's the information, but everything else needs to be just bringing people in. But my support system, I will say that when we started, I had a format of how I wanted to do it. I knew that if I go to a venue and this is really just the formula right here. If I go to a venue and it has 200 seats and this is a new thing and I have 16 people who's in my cast, it's going to be easy to sell out that venue for the simple fact that all 16 people want to be there. If I got one person in here, it's like 6 of my family members want to come, and then I got one person in here, which is a true thing. Marcus Elliott, 25 of his people want to come. So if you got all these people trying to come now, what that does is it not only ensures that your event sells out, but it kind of puts it in demand, because now you got so many people who are online bragging that I got tickets, and then you got so many people saying, "Dang, I didn't get a ticket," and then you got the people who saying, "What is this ticket that y'all even arguing about? What is it?" Now they're intrigued. So that's the formula that I use, and I knew that I had a great event. I knew when I first started, I knew I had a $50 ticket. I knew that. I understood that, but I sold it for $5, because $50 in the Improv, and people they're going to like, "What is that? I don't know what it is for $50. No, I'm not going. But for $5, yes, I will go. And then over the course of time, you can gradually change your prices, and then you'll be able to see your audience to say, "Oh, these are my loyals. These are the newcomers. These are," a lot of times our retention at the show is probably like 30%. So everything outside of that is new people. So that means that our people are doing their job and telling people about it, or our promotion is working. So,
speaking of promotion, go ahead and tell us about the next show that you got coming up.
Absolutely. Halloween City is our Halloween show.
Excited about this one.
Yeah, it's the Halloween show has always become a thing just because of the costume contest, and people take it super serious. And but yeah, it's October 25th, 7 p.m. at the Indiana Historical Society. Definitely, we encourage people to wear costumes. They're not required. They are heavily recommended. It just makes the experience that much more fun. So we actually have Janae, and she has her and Trixie is what we call her. Her and Trixie have won the costume contest 2 years in a row. And it's not just because like, "Oh, you guys won," but they really put thought into what it is. And that's what I like about our audience too. It's just like when we have a theme show, they jump out and say, can we dress? It's like, you don't have to ask. If we have a theme show, definitely, come prepared in that theme. And they take it so serious. And yeah, Janae and Trixie have won the last 2 years.
Is this a themed Halloween costume party, or is this just
free for all.
it's a free
Yeah,
for all
free for all.
Halloween
Yeah.
costume party?
Because
Okay.
what I learned with the themes is that you don't want to close the window too much. So you don't want to say that, oh, we're having a scary movie Halloween thing. That would be
Mhm.
dope, but at the same time, it's just like then you have some
Well,
people say,
how many of the same characters you going to see then?
right. Then you have
Yeah.
people say, well, I wanted to do Winnie the Pooh. I don't want to do that, and it's just like you want everybody to just kind of feel like, nah, you can wear
And
whatever
then
you
you
want.
have your specific theme days anyway. Like you've had like little like 70s type
For
of
sure.
themes and so
Yeah.
forth like that. So tell us about, because I feel like we're coming to
Getting there.
we're getting there.
We got a
So
few minutes left.
tell us about what's next. After 12 years
Uh,
and 7 seasons,
yeah.
what's next for Jay Blam?
Well, this is fresh off the press too.
Uh-oh,
Oh, is this
uh-oh.
just
Come
breaking
on.
news? Hold on.
Uh-oh,
We
we
need more
got
music.
exclusive,
Hold
Cam.
on. There you go. There you go. We have some breaking news.
We got some breaking news. This will be our last year for Made Man. This will be our last year for Made Man. So right now we have 3 more shows where we got the Halloween show and actually the November show. I'm thinking about turning that to like a celebratory event and then just going out with the Christmas show. But this will be our last year for the Made Man show. I know a lot of people saying, well, they're just going on break. And when I did this a few years ago for mental health reasons, it was just a break.
Mhm.
But I can wholeheartedly and comfortably and confidently say that I'm done. I'm done. And it could be and it can be oh, I'm done for now, and that'll make some people be able to sleep better at night. But when you go on a break, people are anticipating the comeback. When you go on a break, people are just kind of all right, we're gonna let you take your mental health break, but
we'll see when you get back.
But yeah, we see you when you get back. And now 2 months in, it's like you ain't done. You ain't done with the mental health break. And when I feel like when I say I'm done, I just want like you said, I want to experience Justin again. Like before we was on air, I was talking to Deja, and I was just like, man, these last 7 years, I just felt like one long day, and it's just like you're just out. As soon as you get done,
Always on.
Yeah, when you get done with one thing, and when you get done with one thing, you just start immediately preparing for the next. Your brain just doesn't stop. And it's not a thing that I know how to work on to say, oh, we got to turn my brain off. Your brain is just going to work how it works. So,
and if not, people are calling you.
Yeah.
When's the next show?
Yeah.
When you going to book this venue?
Absolutely.
It's nonstop.
It's nonstop. And it's been like this for the last 7 years. And we're at a position in a place now to where I feel like, this started out with us just doing one show and saying we're going to be done. And I feel like, 50 plus shows later, I just feel like, we did what we said we was going to do. We made an impact. I'm forever grateful for the memories. But as of right now, and it's not that we're just done. I have a bigger goal in mind and I have other things I want to do. The biggest goal right now is that I want to shift my attention to getting this theater. Like I have to have my own theater. And maybe when I get the theater, that'll be a comeback thing. But as of right now, I didn't want to put my attention on that. I just want to put my attention on one, getting this theater. I'm going full throttle after that theater. I'm gonna get that theater too.
It exists somewhere already?
It exists right here.
Okay.
It exists right here.
Okay.
And just like I was telling Deja earlier, it was just like the same way that I've seen the vision for the Made Man show, because even when I did it at Vincennes, it wasn't the vision that I had. And then it was like show number 7, where when I brought it back to the city, where I was on stage and I was just looking at everything, and I was just like, dang, this is the exact vision that I had. So the same way that I had that vision, the same way I've seen this theater in my head. I've been to the ribbon cutting and I've seen it 1,000 times in my head, like literally. And it was just like, okay, so we're going to get this theater. So that's where I want my focus to be. And aside from that, like other reasons is that, man, when having the show, man, I've missed out on so much, man. There's nothing more that I love than being an uncle. I love being an uncle. I love being a godfather, and missing so many birthdays. This year I missed my nephew's graduation, and it was just because I had an event going on, and it just killed me. It just hurt deeply, and just I got to see my goddaughter a couple weeks back, and I was just like, man, she just got so big, and it's just like, man, I want to. My other nephew's going off to college, and I'm just like, no, wait, Tom, wait, stop, pause. So right now, it's just like, man, I really want to just be. I just want to be a better uncle. I want to be a better son, a better friend. I want to take the leadership hat off just for a minute, and I just want to really, like I said, put my attention on other things and fulfill other dreams of mine. So I can wholeheartedly say, especially after talking to some of the key people who made this journey and this process and made man what it is today. It's just like we were all in a peaceful agreement of yeah, we can be doing it and be happy. We can be done.
You don't want to be like Law and Order and The Simpsons and just continue season after season.
It's crazy because that was the goal. But then when you say season after season after season, like my mind starts to be like, it just feel like Justin is just in the distance, just back there, and it's just like, okay, I'm at a point where we can just stop, and it's not a bad thing. I don't want to wait until it's just like, oh, we don't want to come to that no more. Right. That's a thing of the past, and it's better to go out on that shit.
Like, go out on top.
Yeah, so it's just like, man,
that way people want more.
Yeah. And this other thing is just because the Made Man show is going to be ending doesn't mean that other productions and things are not going to come.
Or does it mean you're retired?
No, I'm not retired at all. Not retired at all.
Because we got to get that theater.
Oh, for sure. So when we get that theater, like I said, man, who knows? It might be a year or 2, 5, 10, and we bring the show back or whatever. But at the same time, I just don't want that to be my focus.
Have you started looking for a place physically for this theater?
So everything, the process is new to me. The process of even like getting a theater or building a theater, everything is new. But I just feel like right now I have the right resources, I have the right people, and I just feel like there's a huge shift in my life that I'm welcoming, and I am just being more intentional with that energy and with that shift, and just basically about to use all the this next year or two to really lock in and really go through the process of acquiring this theater. So if it's a building and I'm gonna get that building, or if it's some land we're gonna actually build, I don't know what it is. Only God knows. But at the same time, I'm wholeheartedly 100% in belief that the theater is going to happen. It's not a matter of if. It's not. It's just when.
Yes, I'm so excited for you. And even in the midst of that, you still have a thing. What I saw this Out of Town Besties.
Out of Town Besties.
Well, tell me more about
that. Out of Town Besties is literally just, a lot of times people go on they try to go on these trips with their family, their friends, and it's 16 of y'all. And then by the time, people get serious, it's time to start sending them money. 7 people then dropped off. And then the day of the trip or the week of the trip, things that happen. Now it's only 3 of y'all. And now you kind of hate them family members now, because why would they do that to us? Why would they? So Out of Town Besties is basically saying, all right, I trust Justin's judgment. He's a people person. He brings together people. I trust his judgment. I'm going to send my money, and I'm going to be a part of this trip, and then I'll meet people, once I get there. And it's basically just to get us away from the city, away from the hustle and bustle of Indy, and just getting us back to human interaction. A lot of times everybody's just on their phone 24/7. Everybody's idea of fun is totally different, but it's just like, I want to get back to let's go out of town. Let's have fun. Let's go explore another city. Let's have game nights. Let's have karaoke nights. Let's stay up all night. Let's just do these things that kind of just lock you back in with that childhood version of yourself.
Yeah, this gonna be fun.
Yeah, so
I'm coming with you. He going to New Orleans.
So we done it 5 times. It's been a success, and on the sixth one, we are going to New Orleans November 13th through the 16th. So yeah, it's gonna be super dope.
Wow, this is incredible. What else do we need to know about Mr. Justin Bland?
He's ready to sit down.
And how good have you gotten at that macaroni and cheese? Because I know you've been trying to make some macaroni and cheese.
The macaroni and cheese is there.
Okay, what about your fried chicken?
The fried chicken is there. Shout out to Des. I had to call my friend from Atlanta, and she walked me. This was recently too. So the fried chicken journey has been up and down.
Okay.
And it was just like, and not that the chicken was nasty or anything. It was just like, man, it could just be so much better.
Yeah.
I know what good chicken tastes like. So I called my friend Des, and she made me promise, like, don't tell my recipe, and she walked me through the process, and I called her
Don't
back,
tell
was
my
like,
recipe.
"This chicken is delicious." So yeah, and even aside from, I'm trying to stay away from all the fried foods and stuff. Now
So
I'm
you
on a
sound
health.
like you're trying to get your Keith Lee on.
Yeah, I'm on a health. Nah. I'm on a health journey now, so just got back in the gym. Probably like
No,
3 weeks
don't do
ago.
that before you give me a plate.
Oh, we can still do that. You know, listen, I enjoy hosting. I enjoy, cooking. So I'm at a point now to where I can make that food and not be tempted by it, and I'll be
Right.
good. So yeah.
Well, hey, look, y'all, we're out of time. Check this out. This is the Instagram of Jay Bland, Made Man, where you can see all the stuff that he's been up to. What is an improv show? Some of the things, some of his clips, some of his shorts, reels, TikToks, all that is right there. Jay Bland, thanks, man. It's
I
good to talk
appreciate
to you.
y'all.
Congratulations on all
Thank
your
you.
success.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're
you.
looking forward to that theater.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have a name for the theater yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
Jay Bland Theater.
Nah.
Here we go, Jay Bland Productions.
Jay Bland Productions.
All right, we'll work on some names.
Yeah, we're going to cook
Okay.
something up.
All right, that's going to do it for this edition of Fox 59 tonight. We appreciate you all watching. Until next time, good night.